are back together again. A big doobie-doobie-doobie-boo to you. Here we are, and there it is, outside right now, the live view in the garden. You can really tell that spring is on the way, even though there might be some actual snow tomorrow. So there on the camera you can see some snowdrops, but we might actually be getting some real snow tomorrow. All will be revealed over the next 24 hours. This is English Addict coming to you live from the birthplace of English, which just happens to be, you know where it is. It's England. We are back. Back together again is what we are, and I hope you are feeling super duper today. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan. That's me, by the way. I'm in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I hope you have a smile on your face today, because we are back together again. Live, for those who don't know, I am live right now from England. I often say that this is the birthplace of the English language, and guess what? I am 100% correct, because it is the birthplace of the English language. My name is Duncan. I talk about the English language. You might say that I am one of those up there. Can you see? Just there. An English addict. I am one of those. And I have a feeling maybe perhaps you are as well. If you like this, by the way, you are more than welcome to give me a lovely like right at the start of today's live stream, because that is how confident I am that you will enjoy yourself here. And yes, we are here to have a smile, but also to learn the English language. You can listen. You can also join in as well on the live chat. You are more than welcome to say hello right now on the live chat. Just in case it isn't appearing, you might have to refresh the page, and then hopefully the live chat will appear. Today we are looking at ways of expressing terrible, terribly, awful, and awfully. That is the subject of today's live stream. It's nice to see the live chat is already busy. I know during the week a lot of people have their own things to do. I know sometimes people are busy. I am sometimes. That is why I can't always do my live streams. I would love to be here every day. If I had the chance to do this every single day, I would. But unfortunately, you know what it's like. Life gets in the way. Sometimes life comes along, and there are often things and responsibilities that you have to take care of. And that's the problem, you see. That is the problem. We all have things that we have to take care of. We can't always do what we want to do. Hello everyone. Yes, it's nice to see you. And we have Vitas. Congratulations once again, Vitas. You are first on today's live chat. Very, very nice. Maybe one day we will find out the secret of that fast finger of yours. We also have Beatrice. Hello, Beatrice. Palmyra is here as well. We also have Kohan Duk, who is watching in Vietnam. Once again, a big hello to Vietnam. Nice to see you here today. Of course, there is the Lunar New Year approaching. I think it's next week, in fact. The Lunar New Year will be here, and I think the In the Chinese zodiac, I believe it is the year of the dragon. Apparently, a lot of people get excited, especially if they were born in the year of the dragon. So a lot of people tend to get very excited by those things. It is the Lunar New Year, celebrated as the Chinese New Year in China. And I hope you all have a good time. I think it's actually this weekend it's happening, isn't it? This weekend. Amazing. Hello also to Thomas Rizzo. We can learn from Duncan. Well, I'm glad you think so. I like to think that watching this will help you in some way. Maybe you don't even realise it, but maybe today you will learn something you didn't know before. Wouldn't that be lovely? I think it would be. Christina is here as well. Hello, Christina. We also have Agfio Sway. Hello to you as well. I hope I pronounce your names correctly. If I don't, please don't shout at me. By the way, you might hear my stomach making some sounds. And there is a reason for that, because I haven't had anything to eat today. So my stomach might be complaining from time to time. So if you hear some strange sounds in the background, don't worry, it is just my tummy. Hello, Giovanni. Also, Giovanni is here as well. Palmyra. Mosen. Hello, Mosen. It is nice to see you here today. Of course, in Japan also, yes, it is Dragon Year, Year of the Dragon with the lunar calendar. So that is followed in many parts of Asia. So I hope you all have a good time with your Lunar New Year, or as they call it in Vietnam, Tet. So that's what it's called in Vietnam. Have a super duper time wherever you are. We also have, he is here. You know who I'm talking about. Luis Mendez is here today. It's very nice to see you back with us again. A couple of more hellos. Who else is here today? I hope I haven't missed anyone out. If I have, I do apologise. Zutzika is here as well. Thank you very much for saying hello. Who else is here? One more, and then we will carry on with what we are talking about today. Kutiaba. Hello, Kutiaba. Nice to see you back with us as well. I think you were here last Sunday. Is that right? Oh, by the way, thank you very much for your lovely messages about last Sunday's live stream. We did talk about some very big topics last week. Most of those topics were surrounding the theme of good and bad. So thank you very much for your lovely messages. Quite a few people saying, Mr. Duncan, can you please talk about these difficult subjects more often? Well, maybe in the future we will. Of course, you have to be careful, because sometimes I have to be aware that out there in YouTube land, maybe people are a little bit sensitive to certain things. But I do think it is a good idea, and you know I believe in this anyway, it is a good idea to discuss things that are hard to talk about. Maybe sensitive issues, maybe something that is controversial. So I do try my best to stimulate you with the conversation, and we will be back on Sunday, of course, every Sunday and Wednesday we are here on the live chat. Oh, by the way, there are live captions underneath as well. If you want to have live captions, don't forget to turn them on. Turn the captions on, and you will have lovely English subtitles underneath. Today we are looking at a very interesting subject. Now, you know I love words. You may have noticed over the past 17 years I have been talking a lot about words, and that is because I love them. I love words, English words. I am fascinated by how words are formed and how they are used. So we are looking today at the way in which certain words are used, certain ways of using awful, awfully, terrible, and terribly. So that is today's subject. And whilst you get yourself nice and comfortable, we'll have a quick break. I will drink some water, and then we will get into today's live English subject. It is English Addict, and we are now live from England. I hope you are having a super duper day. It is, of course, Wednesday. We are in a new month. February has arrived, so have a nice February. I don't like it, but at least it is a short month. By the way, next week, a lot of things happening. Besides the Lunar New Year, it's also Valentine's Day next Wednesday. Oh, so next Wednesday we might be having a little bit of romance on the live stream, a little bit of love, maybe a little bit of kissing and cuddling, perhaps. We will see what happens. Also, it is Mr. Steve's birthday next week. I think it's next Friday. So next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday, the 16th of February, it will be Mr. Steve's birthday. He will be another year older. Oh, by the way, talking of which, poor Steve is not feeling very well, even though he's gone out to work. He's out at work at the moment, busy driving around and taking care of all his loyal customers, and some of them not so loyal. But he has a cold, he has a fever, which is not very nice. If you were watching last Sunday, you will know that Steve mentioned he wasn't feeling very well, but hopefully he will be with us next Sunday, and a busy week for him because it will be his birthday. Hello to the live chat. Oh, hello to... Have I missed anyone out? Because I always worry. You know, I lie awake at night worried, just in case I have forgotten any of you on the live chat. It does. It worries me a lot. I lose a lot of sleep over it, I can tell you. Mr. Duncan, February is 1 day longer than the last 3. Yes, I think so. Is it 28 days this year? Is it 28 this year in February? I will quickly check. Just a moment. Let's have a look. Oh no, 29. There are 29 days this month. Oh my goodness. You know what that means? That means February will be longer than I want it to be. How awful. How terrible. Which happens to be the subject we are talking about today. We are looking at whether it is correct or how we will use the words awful and awfully. So when do we use awful and when do we use awfully? These are both English words. One is used in a certain way and the other is used in another way. Grammatically speaking, these words are different. So when we look at awful, which is what we are going to look at first, we are looking at words with awful connected to it. So first of all, the word awful is an adjective, and we can use the word awful to express something that is extremely bad or unpleasant or ugly. Awful. Something is awful. So in this particular sense, we are using it as an adjective. Something that is extremely bad. When we say extremely, it means very. Extremely bad. Something is awful. It is unpleasant. It is ugly. So there are many ways of using that particular word, especially when we are using it in sentences. Her dress looks awful. So maybe your friend is coming round and you are going to a party together, and when you see her, you look at her dress and you think, oh, that dress looks awful. You won't tell her because that will hurt her feelings, but you might think it inside your head. You might think, oh my goodness, her dress looks awful. Maybe the rain is falling. Maybe it is cold and windy outside. What an awful day. You might say, what an awful day. What an awful day. The day is bad. Maybe the weather is bad. Or in this sentence, you can also express having a bad day. So if you are having a bad day at work, maybe you are stressed, maybe your boss is giving you too much work to do, you might say, what an awful day. So that particular sentence can refer to the weather, the feeling outside, the atmosphere, or maybe if you are having a difficult day or a stressful day, you might also say, what an awful day. Next one. I feel awful today. This means that you feel unwell. You feel sick. Maybe you have a fever, like Mr. Steve at the moment does. That was an awful show. Perhaps you went to see a performance and the show was not very good. You might want to say that show was awful. That was an awful show. A terrible show. Although we are looking at terrible later. You look awful. That's what I said to Mr. Steve on Sunday. He did. He looked awful because he wasn't feeling very well. You look awful. Are you okay? Are you feeling okay? You look awful. So sometimes when we want to ask a person if they are feeling well, or maybe you are concerned about their health, you might say, "You look awful. You look terrible." Maybe their skin is pale. Maybe they are sweating. Maybe their eyes are red. Maybe they look unwell. You might ask, "You look awful. Are you feeling okay?" Another one. "I have an awful feeling about this." I have an awful feeling about this. So in this situation, you are saying that you have a feeling that is negative. Maybe something you are about to do, or maybe something you are about to try to do, or maybe something you feel nervous about. You can say, "I have an awful feeling about this." It means you feel dread. You feel awkward. You have an awful feeling about it. You feel nervous, doubtful. Maybe you go to a restaurant and you are eating the food. You are tasting the food, but unfortunately the food is not very nice. You might say, "The food here is awful. The food here in this restaurant is awful. Awful food. Awful. I'm never coming here again because the food tastes bad. Maybe it is cold. Maybe it is not served very well. Maybe it tastes a little strange." You might say, "The food here is awful." Maybe you go to a party or a meeting with lots of people, and maybe you have a very bad time. Maybe you don't enjoy yourself at all. "They are awful people. I can't stand them. They are awful people. I can't stand them." So there are a few things to explain in this sentence. They are awful people. It means you don't like them. Maybe there is something about their character that you don't like. Maybe they are loud. Maybe they swear. Maybe they are rude. They are awful people. I can't stand them. I don't like them. I don't want to be near them. They are awful people. I can't stand them. And then we have the other word that is related, but it is used in a different way. We have awfully. 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 Now, a lot of people might say, "Mr. Duncan, you do realise that awfully is often used in formal English, or when we are talking formally, or maybe if we are writing formally. But you can use it, generally speaking, when you are describing something that is not good, or maybe something that is very good. So awfully can be used in many ways. It is used as an adverb to mean very or extremely. So you are saying that something has a certain level or quality of being good or bad. It is awfully, awfully. I will give you some examples in a moment. So awfully, as an adverb, is describing something in a manner provoking censure or disapproval. So awfully is also something that is showing disapproval, something you don't like, as an adverb. For example, and we do have some examples here. First of all, in a positive way, it was awfully good of you to help me carry my shopping. So you can see in this sentence we are using the word awfully to show that something was very good. It was awfully good of you to help me carry my shopping. Awfully good. Of course, we can also have the opposite of that as well. So it's not always used in a good way. Another positive use, this is an awfully good book. So maybe something you are reading, maybe something you are looking at, maybe you are studying something, and the book is very helpful. You might want to say, this is a very good book. This is an awfully good book. It's very good. I like it. It's very useful. Mr. Duncan, your English lessons are awfully good. That was my stomach, by the way. I really should have had something to eat before coming on today because my stomach is making some strange sounds, for which I apologise. Here is a negative use of awfully. She behaved awfully at the party last night. So if someone behaves awfully, that is the way in which they behaved. They behaved in a bad way. They behaved in a way that was annoying, maybe to one person or to many people. It is annoying. She behaved awfully at the party last night. Maybe she had too much to drink. Maybe she was singing and dancing on the tables. Not that there's anything wrong with that, to be honest with you. Her clothes were awfully matched. The colours did not go together. So if something is awfully done or awfully matched, it means those things do not go together. They are not matched. They were awfully matched. They were badly matched. So we often use awfully to show that something is being done in the extreme. So if something is horrible or terrible or not very good, we can say that it was awfully done. It was awfully done. Awfully. Not very well. The quality was quite low. My driving test went awfully well. So look very carefully at the first sentence. There is a difference between these two sentences. In fact, you might say there is a very big difference between these two sentences. So the first one is positive. We are saying that something went very well. It went very well. My driving test went awfully well. It went very well. I am pleased with it because it went very well. However, if we take away well, this suddenly becomes a negative sentence. My driving test went awfully. That means it went badly. So this is a very good example of how using an extra letter or an extra word, should I say, in the sentence can change the meaning completely. So my driving test went awfully well means that it went very well. It was a good driving test. I did very well. However, underneath, my driving test went awfully. That means it went badly. It did not go very well. I think I may have failed my driving test because it went awfully. The sounds of Mr. Duncan's stomach are awfully loud. So when we generally speak about awful, it is bad. When we talk about something going badly wrong, we say awfully. But we can also use awfully to stress very, the extreme of something. Now we have terrible and terribly. And again, we are looking at these words one by one. First of all, the word terrible is an adjective. It refers to something that is distressing or severe. Severe normally is a level of seriousness. So when we talk about severe, we are talking about the level of seriousness. Quite often, something has happened and it is very bad. Terrible as an adjective, distressing or severe, extremely bad or horrible. So this can be something you see, something you experience, or maybe if you are just describing the feeling of something, you can say that it is terrible. For example, you might say, the weather today is terrible. The weather today is terrible. A terrible storm is coming. And guess what? For some of us, here in England, a terrible storm is coming our way. We might be getting some snow tomorrow. I hope we get some snow and then Mr. Steve can stay at home, even though he is very excited because he wants to try his winter tyres on his car. We will see. I feel terrible today. I think I might be coming down with a fever. I feel terrible today. I think I might be coming down with a fever. So in this particular situation, you are talking about your own feeling of health or wellness. I feel terrible. Also, you can say I feel terrible if you are feeling remorseful or sorry about something. Maybe you say something bad to another person and you might say, I feel terrible about what I said yesterday to my friend. I think he was really hurt by my words. I have a terrible feeling about my exams next week. To have a terrible feeling means, again, inside you have doubt or fear about something that is going to happen in the future. I have a terrible feeling about my exams next week. You think you might not do well. You fear that you will fail your exams. To have a terrible feeling about something means you dread that thing or you think you will do badly. He has a terrible life with his nagging wife. Please don't complain. Please don't complain. He has a terrible life with his nagging wife. So if you have a terrible life, it means things are always difficult. Things are often unpleasant in your personal life or your personal situation. He has a terrible life with his nagging wife. Or, of course, she has a terrible life with her nagging husband, because husbands can also be irritating and annoying. They often complain about things. They nag. Something that is really annoying, something that you can't get away from. It is nagging. Maybe a wife will nag at her husband, or maybe you have a pain in your shoulder. We can say that you have a nagging pain. Oh, my shoulder is really hurting. I have a nagging pain. My wife keeps nagging at me to wash the dishes. To have a terrible life means your existence is not very good because you have a terrible life. That was a terrible meal. Something that is terrible, something is awful, something is bad, something goes wrong, it is terrible. That was a terrible meal. The food was awful. That was terrible. Another one. Things have gone from bad to terrible. And you might hear this expression used in English when we want to really emphasize how bad something is. So maybe you are having a bad situation, but then it gets even worse. You might say that things have gone from bad to terrible. Things have got even worse. We can also say things have gone from bad to worse, or things have gone from bad to terrible. So I thought I was having a terrible day. I thought I was having a bad day. But it got worse. It got worse. It got worse as the day went on. It got more and more terrible. Have you ever had a day like that where everything goes wrong? Fortunately, it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes things can go from bad to terrible very quickly. I had a terrible dream last night. I was in bed and I was turning over and I could not relax. And then when I went to sleep, I had a terrible dream. Or, of course, you might just say, I had a nightmare or a terrible nightmare. Although, to be honest with you, I don't think you need to improve the quality of that, because in the sentence, the word nightmare does mean bad dream. So you might say, I had a terrible dream last night. A terrible dream. Or maybe you can say, I had a horrible dream last night. Something that made you wake up and feel afraid. Something is terrible. Now we have terribly. Terribly. Something that is terribly. And we will look at how it can be used. So terribly is an adverb, and it is used in a way that's expressing something that is terrible. Something awfully done. Something horribly done. Something extremely bad is terribly. Terribly. So quite often a situation where something has become very serious, we often use the adverb terribly to show that that thing is not good, it is bad. Something occurred in a distressing or disappointing way. If something occurs in your life that makes you feel upset or distressed, or maybe something that is disappointing, we can say that it is terribly done. It happened terribly. It went terribly. It went in a distressing way. It is something that made you feel really upset and maybe angry even. Terribly can also be used to enforce how something occurred, the way in which something happened, or the way it happens. Terribly can very articulately and very clearly express how something occurred. It went terribly well, or it went terribly. Once again, we are using the positive and the negative. The show went terribly well. So the first one is expressing positive. The show went terribly well. It went extremely well, very well. Underneath, if we take away well, we can say that the show went terribly. In this particular situation, we are saying that it went badly. It went terribly. It was not very good. So the first sentence is positive. The second sentence is negative. Once again, all you have to do is take away one word or add one word to change the meaning of the sentence. I forgot the words terribly halfway through the song. I forgot the words terribly halfway through the song. Now this is a very complicated sentence. I forgot the words terribly. So if you do something terribly, you do it a lot. You do it in a very bad way. I did it terribly. So in this sentence, halfway through the song, I started to forget the words. I couldn't remember the words that I was supposed to sing. I forgot the words terribly halfway through the song. That means that I couldn't remember the words. I need to see you now. It's terribly important or urgent. Something you need to do very quickly. Something you need to do in a hurry. Something that is urgent. Something that needs to be done now. You cannot wait. I need to see you now. It's terribly urgent. So when we describe something as being terribly urgent, we are saying that it is very urgent. It is something that must be dealt with or sorted right now. I need to see you now. It's terribly urgent. Very urgent. Extremely urgent. It cannot wait, unfortunately. Finally, if we look at the words separately, terrible refers to something bad or awful, something that is not good, something occurring that is terrible. It is bad. It is awful. Something terribly is badly done. Something that is not going well. It is going terribly. It is going awfully. And of course, if we want to show urgency, you might also ask to see one. Ask to see a person. I need to see you terribly, terribly, urgently. It is something I must see you with or about straight away. I can't wait. It is very urgent. So we can use the word terribly quite often to show extremes of something. Something that is extremely good or extremely bad. I hope this lesson today has not gone terribly. I hope it has gone well. However, I also hope that today's lesson has been terribly useful or terribly entertaining or exciting. I hope so. The live chat, thank you very much for joining me today. It's nice to see you here, and please subscribe if you want. Give me a big like as well. This is a short live stream on Wednesday. I'm very pleased that no one has asked what's happened to my head. I'm very pleased. That's all I can say. That's all I'm saying for now. I can't give you any more details, but thank you for not asking. I do appreciate it very much. Thank you for your company. Palmyra says the word nagging is new to me. Nag, yes, N-A-G, nag. Something that won't stop, something that is annoying. Maybe if you have some sort of pain in your shoulder, nagging. It is something that won't go away. I have a nagging pain in my shoulder. It won't go away. Or maybe if someone keeps asking you to do things, or maybe they keep complaining and telling you what to do, you can say that person is nagging. They are nagging you. They keep asking you to do things. They are very annoying. Sometimes in a relationship. I'm not saying which relationship, but sometimes one person might nag another person. Of course, the word nag can also be used to mean horse as well, as a very, very loose term for a horse. Quite often, a horse that is old, or maybe a horse that is not very well. We often describe it as a nag. An old nag is an old horse. So there are many ways of using that. I am terribly starving. You might say that I'm terribly hungry. I'm terribly hungry. I'm awfully hungry. I'm very hungry, which is true, because during today's live stream, you may have noticed my stomach was making quite a few sounds. So thank you. Thank you very much for your company. I am going in a moment. Don't forget you can watch this again with captions later on, as soon as YouTube decides that they are going to do that. Normally it takes a while, you see, for YouTube to process the video, but it will be available to watch as many times as you want. Thank you very much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will be back with you on Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time, and we have Mr. Steve with us in the studio as well. Yeah! So I hope you are looking forward to that. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to give me a lovely like if you like this. Show you care. Give me a lovely thumbs up. Thank you very much. Thank you, Christine. Hello, Raven. Raven Barnes. Oh, I don't recognise your name. Is it your first time here? Please let me know. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vitas. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you also to Beatrice. Thank you to Quitaiba or Quitaiba. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your lovely messages. Irene. Hello, Irene. I didn't see you on the live chat. Thank you for joining me, Irene. Back on Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time is when I'm back with you. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And yes, we might be getting snow tomorrow here in England. We will see what happens. And of course, until the next time we meet here, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Have a good day. See you soon. And of course, ta-ta for now. I have to go now.